What's good, y'all? Kabeh here again to do another sample breakdown. Today, let's just cut to the chase. Let's listen to this first, then we can go back and talk a bit more and see how we made this. So, yeah, let's do it. Let's listen to this. Nice. So basically, this is what we have. I sampled this song by Charlotte Day Wilson called Chances, and I'm actually play the original song right now so y'all can listen to what it sounds like. So yeah, I sampled that, and to start, the first thing that I did when I put the original song on the project was to find a tempo. I think it was 120. I found the tempo. I listened to the whole song and picked up chopped up the parts that I wanted to work with. So this is what we have, or what I started with. And this is just straight up the original song, a part of the intro of the original song. So I just chopped up this other part. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is part of the interlude of the song, I'm pretty sure. And this is how it goes. And the song just goes on. So I just chopped up this little piece and brought it here. Just looped it, and then this part is just the last part of the progression of the original song. And this is the original sample, like not the original sample, the main sample element that I have on my composition. So this is what I chopped up, and I did this. I looped this part because I wanted to change the progression of the song. And if I kept the original progression, it wouldn't work. So I just looped this part. So after I had this going, I did the piano. Actually, I did both of these in parallel, like going back and forth on both of these. So I put up the piano. It's from Keyscape. It's the upright mono dark. I think it's one of the upright pianos on Keyscape. So this is how it sounds. And I just straight up play this. I think, yeah, this is an octave up. And I just brought in an octave down. These are the chords. Let me pull up the chords. It's simple chords. I think it's just seventh chords. Yeah, there's a ninth here, so. Sevenths and nines. Simple progression. I just played it out. And this is the main element, the main piano. So let's actually check the mix for the piano and the sample. So this for the piano. Got rid of the lows, the smooth operator. Decimort. I'm using Decimort just to bring down the sample rate. I've been using Decimort a lot recently. Tau Chorus. This is a free chorus plugin. Echo Boy Jr. and Valhalla Room for the reverb. So this is the main piano. This sample, let me see how I flip this. That's more again to bring down the sample rate. Basically, this is what it's saying. An equalizer. I automated this equalizer to just come in at this part in the intro. It's off. So wider, free plugin again. Then Echo Boy, Clever or Cleaver. Then I used an audio effect rack to create two parallel signals. So I have the main chain that's going to a shaper box that has a side chain on it. That creates this wavy type of sound. And then I have a portal also signal that's going in parallel that I think I just brought in at this part. Yeah, again, I automated it to just come in, at this part. So at the beginning, there's no portal. When it hits here, and you can, immediately hear it coming in. So this is the portal. I think this is a preset from Stevens Bank. That's more, again, bringing the sample rate down, wider, and shaper box, automating the width and a little volume automation here, so just to have more wavy type of sound. So this is the original, not the original, the main sample mixer chain. So after I did this, I did the bass. These sound like an 808. These are actually the Rickenbacker bass from Contact. There's, I think it's dub bass preset. It's how it's called, and it sounds like an 808, honestly. So I just added the capitator on it to give it more punch. and a Pro Q3 to get rid of the high. So this is how it sounds without the high cut. So it's very like subby. It's very on the low end. So after I did this, I also have this accent type of sound. Let me get to the accents later. So after I have this first repetition, the second part of the sample, I add this tape strings type of sound. These clicks are my CPU struggling, by the way. So I was just on Analog Lab trying to find the sound to complement this composition, add something more to it. Then I find this sound, and I think it's pretty cool. It sounds like an organ. After I found this, I started to look into organ sounds to find an organ sound, but I didn't find anything that I liked, so I kept with this. I bounced it to audio, and doing that allows me to have full control of the transients, the attack and the release. So I wanted to make this sound go off when the next chord hits. So this is what happens. Pretty abruptly. So to these tape string sounds, a low cut, tall chorus again, free plugin. That's more again downsampling it. Good hertz, mid-time matrix, just to bring the sides up and the mids down, and an echo boy. Damn, my CPU is struggling right now. Let me see if I can do this. Okay. So yeah, this is what we have here. And at this point, I also bring this Solina lead. It's kind of a saxophone kind of sound, but it's more, it's thinner. And for this Solina, what I did again, a tall chorus, an effects rack with this Under the Lava preset. And I actually had to automate this. So like what you're hearing right now is the effect rack. So I only bring up that effects rack at this point, so that doesn't bleed into the sample. There's a doubler. This is actually pretty cool. This is without the doubler. Let's hear without the doubler. It's a very thin and high sound, and I use the doubler a lot to add more body to it. And one thing that I love to do is bring up the doubler 4, so I have 4 voices, and normally I just bring 2 of them down. At this at this sound, I brought all 4 of them down, and this is what just the doubler voices sound like. It's just 4 voices, a couple pitch shifts between all of them to have more body, and then an octave down. And I brought in the direct sound, the original signal, and brought it down a couple 3 decibels, so you can blend in the low sound with the high sound, and this is what it sounds like. It has a little more body to it, which I think is pretty cool. There's a shaper box doing pen automation, Echo Boy, and Clever, the reverb. So at this point, I also bring in this reverse piano. And this is kind of a given. I use reverse sounds a lot on my samples. So it's complementing the piano. There is a Pro Q3 on it, doing a low cut and a high cut, a flanger, Valhalla delay, Valhalla vintage verb, and then shaper box doing the side chain. So after this part, we have the Solina, and then we get into this breakdown type of part where I just bring this sample vocal an octave down, and this is how it sounds. And I'm pretty sure the only thing that I did was bring this an octave down from what I previously had. So yeah, after this I added a couple accents. So this voice is, I'm pretty sure this is from XY's kid. Just to hit on the downbeat, you know. Also this one. And this, I think this is from Owl Hug. Just this snare type of sound. And then to finish it off, a couple of textures that I found on Splice. I've been using textures a lot recently, so just to give it a little more grit, I think it's really cool. So after we got into this last part, I just bring in the sample again, but another section of the original song. And this is just a piece from that original listening that I did on the full song, and I chopped out the parts that I knew that I wanted to use. At that point, I had a vision down to what I wanted to make, so I already had this piece chopped up, and I just brought in at the end, and I think it blended really well. So yeah, I think this is basically the full sample. I think what really helps this is the structure. I love to do cool structures with my samples. I rarely do like just 8 bars or 16 bars on the sample. I like to do an structure that makes sense to the song itself, if this becomes a song. So this is something that I actually spend a lot of time thinking about, and listening and what I feel like doing, like what should happen at this part, and what leads to the next part. So yeah, this is basically the full sample. I hope y'all like this. I hope y'all that this inspired y'all in some way. And thank you if you watched it to this point. And I hope we'll see each other next week again on the next video. So bye. Thank you so much.